I'm enjoying this beautiful ride through New Mexico. I'm heading to the Four Corners Monument. That's where 4 states meet. I think it's New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, and Arizona. But and after that, I'm heading out west. My plan is to do a West Coast road trip. But the reason why I wanted to just bring you guys on my journey, my road trip, is just to share something with you all. And I'm sure a lot of people this message would resonate with a lot of people. But if you have something in your life that you want to try or you want to do, I think sometimes or oftentimes we share what we're thinking with other people, and they might have their input, or they might inject their own fears into feedback, and you might take that and use that to help make your decision. But I'm here today to say, just stop. Just stop it. Just stop all of that. If there's something that you want to do in this life, if you have an interest, if there's a burning desire in your heart, if you have a passion, if there is something that keeps coming up, resurfacing over and over and over, do it. Try it. Be about it, regardless of what it is. For me, it's getting out into nature, exploring more. That's what it is for me, right? And doing it on my own terms, and not considering the judgment of others. I think sometimes we want to do something and then we either don't do it because we're afraid of what people will say or think, or just that judgment. And when I say people, it can be anyone, whether it's friends, family, other people, strangers, co-workers, right? Sometimes we have that fear of that judgment, and we shouldn't, because when you consider those fears, you actually stop yourself from experiencing life. And if there's something that you want to do, you can try it.
Now I don't need a model.
Sorry about that. I lost signal before, and my music just came back up. But if there's something that you want to try it once. If you like it, you can keep trying it. And if you don't, at least you can say, you know what? I had an experience. I tried it, I experienced it, I didn't like it. But at least you know, right? And whatever that is, whether it's taking a class or going somewhere or trying a new job or moving on from a situation, trying a new food, traveling somewhere, whatever your something is, my advice is to just do it. Go for it. Be about it. Right? Don't sit and have it play in your head over and over and over. If you have the means to try it, try it. And if you don't have the means to try it, then create a goal list. Create a list of what you would need to do, how you would accomplish getting there to try it, right? Whether it be saving up. So you may not be able to save $5 every paycheck, but maybe save $2.50, right? It might take you a little bit longer, and those are just examples I'm using. Apply it to your situation, how it may be. It may take a little bit longer to save half the amount that you would really like to, but at least you're working towards it, right? And in the meantime, just try to find something in life that brings you happiness and joy. Now, one of the things in which I've uncovered through my journey is that happiness is temporary. It's in a moment. So the moment you experience something, you go through something, something comes up, you encounter whatever it is, you're ecstatic, you're happy, you have that happiness that's going through you. But the moment you leave that situation, or the moment fades, then there's a different type of emotion that can come in or set in, right? But I think what it is just that people's chasing happiness, and happiness is temporary, whereas it's moment to moment. And what is important is chasing inner peace and finding joy. Because when you find that joy and that inner peace, that's lasting, right? Sometimes situations may happen where it might break your inner peace. It might break your joy, but at least you can get it back. You don't have to wait for another situation to make you like happiness. You don't have to wait for another situation to come along for you to come back to that joy, or come back to that inner peace. And I'm hoping what I'm saying, you guys can process it and that is adding value, because that's just how I try to process things for myself and live. And it doesn't happen all the time, but I try to keep it as consistent as possible. And I think that's what's important, is working on that consistency. Now, life is not a one size fits all. So what works for me may not work for you. How I live may not be the best way for you to live. And that's the reason why it's extremely, extremely important for you to really do some deep dive soul searching within yourself, without distraction. When I say without distraction, without anyone else's input, and even without your own self input, and really get to the core of what truly makes you happy. If taking a walk every single day makes you happy, then that's what makes you happy. Then in those moments of where things is not going so well, then you might just need to take a walk. If taking a drive is what makes you happy, then go for a drive. I post driving videos because I love to drive. Driving is very therapeutic to me. Driving makes me happy. And I know a lot of people that I know that's in my circle, they don't particularly like driving or long road trips like I do. I love it. So that's not for everyone, right? But everyone do have to find their own form of your own inner peace. So I urge everyone out here to really just take off the distractions, turn off the phone, even if it's for an hour. Turn off the phone, turn off your mind, get some pen and paper, and start scribbling, start writing. Like, what makes me happy? What will bring me joy? What will bring me inner peace? And whatever comes to mind, write it without thinking about it. Write it without passing judgment on it. And write it without stopping. Just do that. And whatever you have in your paper, that is something that you need to explore and say, you know what is it on this list that I can start doing today or tomorrow, right? And in that way, you can find or bring some level of love into your life. And that's also another way for you to practice, that self-nurture and self-care, because oftentimes we are our biggest critic, and we are the meanest to ourselves, right? So that's just another way for you to say, you know what, let me get back to self, and let me get back to, or let me get to self, not even get back, but let me get to self, and let me get to self-nurturing and self-care. And everyone has a different story, and everyone has a different living situation. If you have children or a family to care for, whether it's a wife or a husband or a partner, some of the things on your list may not be feasible, but at least if you can find one thing to start with, that's a plus, right? And if you do have someone in your life, then perhaps that's something that you and that person can try together. They can define, what is it that makes them happy, brings them joy, brings them that inner peace. And you can do the same thing too. If you guys happen to have the same thing on your list, then you do it together. But if you don't, that's okay, because you're individuals and you should be exploring yourself for who you are, right? The only way you can give to someone is if you can, the only way you can give something to someone is if you can give it to yourself. And if you cannot give something to someone, it means that you're not giving it to yourself. So finding that self-nurture and that self-care will allow for you to be a better person in having nurturing care for others too, the other people in your life. So ultimately, this message is for you to really get down to the core of who you are and stop judging yourself. Stop allowing outsiders to judge you, and just do what makes you happy. Whatever that doing is, do what makes you happy. As long as, full disclosure, as long as it's not bringing harm to someone else, right? As long as it's not bringing harm to someone else. If you're minding your own business, living your own life, then hey, step out and experience life. That's it for now. I'm hoping to bring you guys some more driving videos, and comment down below if this is something where my talking videos, if this is something that you would want more of. But before I go, I'm actually in New Mexico. I'm doing a road trip onto the West Coast, because I'm trying to do a West Coast road trip, driving up the coast of like California, Oregon, Washington, maybe going into Alaska. I would love to see the Northern Lights. I'm not sure if that's going to be feasible, but that's the plan. As of right now, I'm actually heading to, I just left Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm still in New Mexico, but I'm heading to the Four Corners. So that's going to be my next destination. But while I was driving, I, was in reflection and in my own thoughts, and I figured that's something I would share with you guys and with you all, and in hopes that you also have a takeaway from it. But thanks for listening, and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Come back for more content, for more driving videos. Thanks. Have a good day.